Welcome back to the Tennessippi States Only Challenge, where today we might be finishing the rest of the regular season as it currently stands. We are the 7th seed, 5-5, sitting 3rd in the AFC South. The Colts, who we will play the final game in the division in today's episode for sure, they are at the top 6-3. The Texans 6-4. We have split the season series against them, and then you have the Jacksonville Jaguars beneath us 5-5 because we have swept them. We have that chance today with the Colts. We also will be starting off with Bills and Miami. Both teams have a chance still at the playoffs. The Bills are on the outside looking in at the 10th seed, so they want to get the win. Miami is first in the AFC South, so we have 3 big games to start us off with. And if we come away victorious in those, well, we could set ourselves up very nicely for the last quarter of the season. But of course, the big theme of this season has been trading back and forth. Not a single loss or win streak, going loss, win throughout. We need to find a way to break that here today in the positive. And against the Bills is where we look to do that. And as we got a long season still in front of us, we're going to start with a quarter sim. And at the end of the first quarter, it is 7-7. So a tight ball game we'll begin with. Second quarter, we do take a quick lead. They'll give up that lead tie game, get a field goal back. Before halftime, the Bills answer. So to the third quarter we go, 17-17. As we do pull back in front and the fourth quarter arrives, there is a team down at the 1. And that just so happens to be our Titans here, trying to take a 2-score fourth quarter lead. We hand this one off, and denied at the inch line is Gainwell. But the offense will stay aggressive. Keeping on out here as Dak Prescott is making some changes to the group here. Gotta make sure that line is set up properly. 4th and goal, foot pushing, finally finds some space, crosses that goal line, and it is a 2-touchdown lead here in the 4th. But with the Bills still trying to keep their playoff push alive here, they've worked their way into plus territory. Just took about 2 plays, one of which being a penalty on Deo. Check down, we'll go for a gain of 5. Brayton, the quarterback here for the Bills, he has a touchdown pass today. He also has thrown 3 interceptions, and even with that, it's only a 2-score difference as he'll look to throw yet again, finding the dump off and finding the first down. That catch and run by Kincaid puts Brayton over 300 passing, and they're going to need a good bit more here as they need at least 2 touchdowns without giving up a single more point, as he'll look for one here with a perfect throw to the end zone. Bills, they answer back, bringing this one back to 1 score. But they would, however, fail a 2-point try. Don't know why they went for that here. Makes it an 8-point game with about 5 minutes and counting. So all we need from our offense is a slow, methodical drive here. If you tack on a few more points, all the better. With a deep drop back, Dak up top, he gets picked off. Bills take over. Brandon Steffens with the play that they were desperate for. And that's why all you had to do was run the ball. We didn't. Now the Bills have an opportunity. And Madden glitched, so we are stuck in here watching till the very end. Nathaniel Watson, he almost took it right back. He's been an integral part of this defense this year, and he's filling in for Woods, the former safety turned linebacker, who is out with injury. Good handoff, not enough for the first down as Lippett picks up really all but 2 inches needed. So 3rd and inches it will be. Looking to throw and getting speared in the back. Dantzler breaks it up. Not exactly sure why he was out there, but he makes the play. 4th and inches, offense stays out as they fake the fullback dive and getting wrapped up in the backfield. Campbell got there first. I believe Richardson got there as well. That's a turnover on downs. And Dak could count himself pretty lucky that his pick did not end this game for us or give an opportunity more so to the Bills. But smarter play calling by the OC. We start with the run. We pick up the first down. That is all we need to do here. as we go back to the running game. Really good blocking from that left side of the line. And that is a side that does not have one of our starters. Covington, the left tackle, is out of this game with a practice injury. We've got Newman filling in there. As we follow the fullback, he clears the way. Pollard rumbling down to about the 21. As the 2-minute warning hits from there, we could really look to take our time here. Don't need the touchdown, though. We will take one. I form. Prescott hands off back down the middle. Pollard will pick up 5. First timeout called. Bills have 2 more. They also need to make sure they pick up a stop here somehow without allowing a field goal, as we stick with another I form. And not much space there for Gainwell. He's back to the line. No gain. Final timeout remains here for the Bills. With a 3rd and 5, we do hand it off, and denied by inches. Final timeout is called. We could still settle for that field goal. We'll make this thing a 2-score game, with which would also need a 2-point try mixed in. And Elliott's good. With 1:41, do the Bills have anything left in their tank? The 3 interceptions looming over Brayton, though he finds a big pass down the sideline. Drake London with a big splash. A lot of good receivers, though, here for the Buffalo Bills, despite that they're currently under 500, looking to maybe drop even further. But if you take just a snippet of the snaps here from Brayton, he's had a really good game, though. He gets corralled. We got 3 different guys back there. Deo, Sam Williams, as well as Jose Dockery. It's a loss of 10, and all 3 are back again. That's the perks of having Chris Jones down the middle. He's going to suck up at least 2 of those blockers, as they do again here. Throw down to the flat, and actually picking up a good chunk. Does get out of bounds. 4th and 12. 6 seconds left in this one. You got to have the end zone shot here. 2-point try and onside, and somehow another touchdown. In about no time, lofted, picked off in the end zone. That is your game. It's the rookie in Waller who ends it with that INT, and that's the first big win. And it finally breaks the streak of loss, win. Our first win streak on the season. Defense got after Brayton. We gave up a couple plays there late, but at the end, we pulled through. Now we've got to try to do it all over again against 3-seed Miami, who happen to take a 3-0 lead as soon as I say that. First quarter comes to an end with that score line, though Miami does widen their lead 10-0. And before half, they make it 17-0. We do squeak in a field goal there before halftime. So Miami well in front here and pulling ahead even more. We finally find a touchdown, though Miami was driving, it looked like, when we reach the end of the 3rd. So let's slow things down here, as they are indeed inside the 25. Would love to continue the win streak here. We need a turnover force pretty much here, as they're looking for the end zone. Tipping it away, Charvarius Ward. We added him last episode, and he made some decent plays for us. Also gave up some weird plays. With a 2nd and 10, they go spread empty. The receiver and tight end at the top. Not sure who their quarterback is, but he gets that pass denied. Richardson. He, of course, being one of the players, got the tackle to end the last game. We could use with one of these guys out here, one of the 11, getting a pick. 3rd and 10, they motion out the tight end with a pistol set, sending him down to the backfield and all the way down. That's a lot of movement for a tight end. Pre-snap, getting the ball out. Dockery nearly had the sack. It is Branch, a drafted quarterback here. But his Dolphins will have to settle for the field goal. We'll still keep this a 2-score game, as it's right down the middle. But with all this talent we have out there, we know we could strike quickly. We're going to need that here. Play action is where Dak starts. To the flat, getting the catch and out of bounds. Just shy of 150 throwing, 1 touchdown, no interception. So it hasn't been turnovers that have been the problem. The offense have just struggled to move the ball. As we look downfield, there goes Hyatt. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. We talked about how quickly this team could score. They put it on display, a 2-play drive, and we are now back within 1 score. But we will need a stop from the defense, and Zay Flowers picks up 16, play 1. Then a throwaway. We got a 2nd and 10 here, and 21 yards to Tucker Kraft. So it looks like the pass coverage game still struggling a little bit here for the defense despite all of the additions we have made. As Miami dropping back, going up top, squeezing that one in, and Kraft is going to pick up about another 15, 20? And that time he did it against Pittman, who's one of our best linebackers, or is definitely our best linebacker. They're well inside the red zone here at the 14. Quick throw back to Kraft. That's 3 straight plays, has him down inside the 5. But once again, we're kind of hoping that we can find a turnover here. Tight formation, pistol set. You got their guy in motion yet again with a quick throw, mistimed. Flowers actually had the positioning, it just was thrown too soon. 3rd and 1 then, they will stick with the passing game. Watch out, Sam Williams shot through a cannon. He got back there well before the quarterback probably even went through his first read. We'll have to settle for another field goal then. That will, though, make it a 2-score game. In that case, let's trot out here with the offense, as we want to make sure we take up as little amount of time as possible while still hitting on some big plays. We got 3:22 left, as we'll start with a pass. Or Dak will actually look to scramble here. He takes a couple big hits on that. Luckily, he holds on to it. The offense right back to it. Now under 3 minutes left. Single high safety. Dak once again has a lane open, but it closes. Baited into that by TJ Watt. 3rd and 3. Got to get the first down here, but we've got Hyatt once again on that right-hand side. He's got the first and out at the 40. But we're going to need a little bit more than that as we're approaching the 2-minute mark here. We need a touchdown and at least a field goal. As we got it in motion again on that right-hand side. Going towards the sideline. Dawson Knox squeezes it. Really good placement as well from Dak Prescott. 2:14, barely took off any time. 2 spread either side. We got motion again from Mingo, as they're covering everything pretty well. Across the middle, Knox catches up to it. He breaks a tackle and gets chopped out. The offense will try to hustle back, but 2-minute warning will hit. The good news is we've managed to get down to this point without having to call a single timeout. Just got to make sure we polish this drive off as quickly as possible with a touchdown. Up for Hyatt. Jarred away. Coverage there provided by Emmanuel Forbes, the corner we traded away. Now we got Pollard in the backfield here. Going to motion him out, make it an empty set. As they go back for Hyatt. Can't squeeze it. Good coverage. Dak fit it into a spot, but Chin jars it free. 3rd and 10. Minute 50 left. Hard count, no one jumps. Prescott then. He's got DK in the end zone. Perfect placement. This time his receiver holds on to it. We strike back yet again. It's now a field goal game. Again, the defense get the stop we need. They've got 3 timeouts. A minute 39 as they start with a run. Breaking off a nice first play is Breece Hall. We do call our first timeout there. They need just 3 more yards to seal this game. With a minute 36, they fake the sweep, and it's left wide open. We came out there in what looked to be a nickel formation. We call our second timeout. They are not kneeling the ball yet. We should have been stacking the line there. Good push. It's a tackle in the backfield. Could have used that the last play. And I will call our final timeout. 1 minute, 29 seconds, a 2nd and 13. As they go back to the run, not finding the cutback. I believe Crumity checks in and he makes the play. It's been a good while since we've seen him out there. They got a 3rd and 12 following the no gain here. Technically, they could just run this thing out. We will see if they will. As Crumity slows him down, tacklers will come in. And they will have to punt this one with a couple seconds to spare. Will we find ourselves with a kick 6? Well, that one is headed out of bounds with 4 seconds left. And nowhere near the range we would need for Elliott. So Dak Prescott, Hail Mary attempt here as we are down 2 points. As he will load up, going towards the bottom and tipped away. Dolphins will walk out of here avoiding the upset. It'll just be a 2-game win streak. But against one of the top teams in the AFC, we put up a pretty good fight. But that loss actually ended up being a lot bigger than what I was thinking, as we drop out of, well, second in the AFC South, but we also drop out of current playoff standings down to 10. But if you look over in the AFC West with the Kansas City Chiefs, who do have that 7th seed, they are also 6-6. Cincinnati Bengals in the AFC North, also 6-6. They have the 8th seed. So there's a lot of tight teams here, which means we definitely need to turn things up and get some wins. Going through the bye week, though, we do have the 9-3 Indianapolis Colts. We did beat them earlier in the season, and it would very much help us out if we could knock them down a notch as well. They are currently 2.5 games above us. The Texans, they are just 1 game above us. So a lot of back and forth here. Time to get on into this Colts game. With this being a pretty important game, we will start watching the first drive of both sides. Defense gets us underway. As we bring the blitz, they get the throw out. They pick up a gain of 7 to Tank Dell. I already talked a good bit about how important this game is with how close the wild card race is, but still the division not out of reach. Unfortunately, that pass a little too far out of reach for Watson to break up or even get a pick. First down for the Colts with a bunch down to the bottom, 1 up top. They do hand it off. Bijan Robinson is stuffed. That's one thing I'll give massive credit to with this defense. Every time we've played against the Colts, we really haven't seen a big game from Robinson. 2nd and 8, it's a play action roll under pressure, finding the big play to his target going across the way. Not sure if that is a tight end or receiver, but Gilchrist picks up a nice gain. And as he is stretched all the way down to the bottom, gonna assume that he is a receiver. 1st and 10 inside the 40. As Hurts gets picked off. Watson got that one, but he ran backwards following the pick. Either way, we end the drive of the Colts. The offense could head out following the big play from Nathaniel Watson. Those are the kind of plays we're gonna need here down the final stretch. Offense comes on out. We'll love a touchdown drive to get us going as things open up right down the middle. Gainwell picks up 11. Coming into this game, the offense was talking about how well they should be able to run the ball against the interior. We'll see how much we look to run as we find the dump off there to Knox. Noble gets there a little bit late to try to break that one up. So a gain of 3 as we go 2 spread to either side. Sitting back in shotgun where we do most of our work. Prescott, 4-man rush. He throws down to the bottom and off the mark for Hyatt. Of course, we are primarily a passing team, as obviously we had the one really good run. Haven't gone back to it. Use it as a play action. Prescott stepping up, but he's going to lose about 6 yards on the play, and the pick goes nowhere. But quickly, the Colts look to respond. After a near 3 and out, they've busted off for about 3 plays of 20 plus to get them down to the 24. Up top and caught. Tank Dell. Campbell in coverage is primarily a run stopper. Not necessarily going to break those up that often. 2nd and 4. Hurts will look to throw. Back across the middle, breaking that one up. Believe again that was Waller. He had the pick to end the first game of the episode. 3rd and 4 here. Hurts knocked away, again intended for Tank Dell, that time Richardson. It will end up being a field goal attempt here. Defense is playing hard, not quite getting the big enough plays to keep points off the board as they nail the field goal. As we take a big leap forward about halfway through the 2nd quarter, it's the next time anyone's been in scoring range. Unfortunately, it's the Colts with a deep pass. Tank Dell's down at the 15. Obviously, this Colts team, top of our division for a reason. They're 9-3. We just got to find some better plays against them. As Hurts checks down, going to go for a gain of around 3 to 4. Honestly, what might work best is just whatever offense has the most completions in this one. Even if they're not big completions, just steady moving. We bring the blitz, leaves a wide open target. Tank Dell extends the lead here for the Colts, make it 10-0. And in tradition of jumping around in this one, we're into the 3rd quarter. That first half, all the Colts, though they're only up 10-0. Got to find a way to bite into that here to start the 2nd half. Dak Prescott, he finds the dump-off pass. Gainwell will pick up 6. But honestly, what we need is 6 points. Not that this game is too far gone by any means, still a lot of time to make some big plays happen. As this time we hand it off Gainwell, he's gonna pick up a few. But we still need 2 more here on third. We bring out a heavy set fullback, I form. Dak hands it off, open space down the middle for Tony Pollard to rumble. Not that rumbling is something you necessarily think of with Tony Pollard, more so a scat back. Doing it all here for us. As we got Mingo in motion towards the top. Prescott throws, finding another DK catch. Seeming like we definitely have changed the style of our offense though in this one. A lot of more shorter passes. Haven't seen us try to take the top off yet. Dak Prescott, back to the flat, back to DK, another first down. Just got to find a way to start stacking those up. Trips go up top, knocks at the bottom. Prescott taking his time before he snaps this one. As we got motion into the backfield was Mingo, setting up the screen the opposite way, and Pollard just outran his blocking. Or perhaps the blocking took too long to get out there. 2nd and 5, we go spread empty. 2 up tops, trips down below. Prescott fakes up top, he finds Knox. We find our first touchdown. Make this one 10-7. Now we need the defense to start getting some 3 and outs. Well, it wasn't exactly 3 and out. Defense does get a stop, and as we're in the first minute of the 4th quarter here, we have driven inside the 40. Trying to take a lead. Prescott finds Mingo, who slips one, picks up another block from the center, getting downfield, and Miller. A lot of work for a gain of 5 there with a bunch up top, Mingo down to the bottom. Got to find another touchdown here, at least a field goal to tie. Quick throw across the middle is to Mingo. We've got to find another 2 here on third. Do we go back to another quick drag? No, but we go with a little zig there from Knox. He's going to pick up a nice chunk down inside the red zone. And just like that, Madden glitches again, and we're stuck in here for the long haul. So hopefully it's going to be a good long haul for us. We motion out Pollard. He goes down to the bottom. It's an empty set. We go to him. Short gain. Kool-Aid McKinstry crashes. But as long as we're picking up yardage, I'm good with that. Was trying to get on in here to make sure we were running clock. Pollard slips a tackle, and he'll pick up a gain of 3. And as we are well inside 5 minutes, I was hoping to take our sweet time here, come away with a touchdown, and hopefully a win. Win still on the table. Prescott, he gets picked off. That's his 2nd one today where a route got jumped. Didn't look at the one from earlier. It was Kool-Aid McKinstry, and that time it is more. And it sets up the Colts to now try to drain their own clock as they are currently up by 3. As they hand it off down the middle, and a big rush from Jalen Wright. At least, I believe Jalen Wright. It's right. Can't remember the first name. But that was a nice first down. Rush for a first down. Motion him out here as they swing it to him instead. He's got a bunch of open grass. Slips to a tackle of Emerson bursting towards the midfield line. What was once a game in our own hands starting to slip away as we move inside 3 minutes. Colts are letting that play clock run. As they're also not running here. Hurts looking for the end zone. Tipped and broken up. Trying to find the play over the top to Tank Dell. We had 2 guys there. Somehow, though, we don't come away with a pick. 2nd and 10. Another play action fake. Hurts will throw it away. Good stand the last couple plays here from the defense. We need another play here. Get the ball back to our offense. They come out with 2 spread either side. Double A gap look for us. I assume we drop back into coverage. We'll find out. Hurts does just have a 4-man rush. Downfield and broken up. Intended for Trey McBride. It's Emerson Jr. with the big play forcing the punt. But it does end up being a pretty good punt. Knocking us back at the 18. We got 2:25 to find at least a field goal. 3 timeouts in our back pocket. Go a little bit of some play action. Finding a big strike. Dawson Knox. And already we're close to midfield. Which honestly is really good considering 2-minute warning has arrived. We're at the 43. Need the opposite of about 43 for a field goal range for Elliott. As we barely get that one in time. Just as I said, the opposite 43, Mingo does get it. Any yard we get closer is just going to make a possible field goal a little bit safer. Elliott has been not his best this season. We find DK inside the 35, close to the 30. though apparently they're going to mark us at the 32. Say that knee hit a little bit sooner than I thought. Go with the kind of drag, almost slant there. Knox down inside the 25 as we move inside a minute left. Got a second and 2, definitely inside field goal range. We find Hyatt as we're trying to find the win here in regulation. Though, of course, knock on wood, cross your fingers, we don't jinx ourselves there. Done that plenty enough. 2 spread either side, 55 seconds. We send Mingo to a stack as we go up top. Why? I crossed my fingers, I knocked on wood. This one looks like it might be a pick 6. Going the length of the field, Hyatt couldn't catch him. Third pick on the day for Dak Prescott puts this game away. And I know what you might be thinking, wait, 24-7 was not the score we just saw. Well, that's because in the last 30 seconds, Dak threw 2 more interceptions, one of which being another pick 6. And in a game that we nearly found a comeback victory, the scoreboard doesn't show it. And with just 4 games left, that almost essentially puts the division out of reach as we are 4 games behind the Colts. We have split that series. If they lose out, we win out, well, hey, then maybe there's a chance. We've only had 1 win streak on this season, then immediately followed with a losing streak. Gotta get back to it, but somehow, despite losing that game, we did actually move up from 10th in the AFC to 9th, so that part is good. But to finish the season, we have Panthers, Cardinals, Browns, and Falcons. The Panthers are another fellow 6-7 team. That's putting them average on the season at spot 16. The Cardinals slightly better, 7-6. They're the 11th ranked team. Browns a little bit better than that, 8-5, 8th ranked team. And then the Falcons back down at 14, 7-6. These are all teams sitting around ourselves. If we pull off the wins, that's going to help out our playoff race. And we get back in the win column with a massive win over the Carolina Panthers, 34-15. That is what we needed to see. Offense was, definitely more fitted towards the pass, 72 rushing, but in general, the defense locked things down. Less than 250 yards given up. On top of that, Dak Prescott threw 4 touchdowns in that game, giving us a net even for his 4 interceptions in the previous. And that does put us back in the playoff picture. 7th seed currently slated to go back against the Colts to break a season tie. But we still got a few more games to get through, Browns being one of them, who are currently 6. And then on the opposite side, another 6th-ranked team in the Cardinals. That's who we have next. Now, I don't plan on getting into this one unless we really do need to. Cardinals take a big lead to open up the game. First quarter ends 14-0. We answer, but we give up another touchdown drive. Cardinals well in control of this one as they go up 3 scores come the end of the first half. Third quarter, we need a big one. We get a touchdown, but the defense is not picking up any stops. It is 35-14 as we enter the fourth quarter. We don't get the touchdown there. I'm assuming we went for it. And just as we had a big win, we get blown out the following game, 42-14. And what makes that game even worse for us is we lose Martin Emerson Jr. with a dislocated ankle for 6 weeks. You got 2 games left, so really, at best, he would be back for a Super Bowl appearance. It's now very important that we traded for Charvarius Ward. And as the trading back and forth continues to go, we now drop out of the playoff race at spot 9. As for 8th, that is a fellow 7-8 New England Patriots. Your new 7th seed is Kansas City, who are 8-7. So now we need them to lose, we need to win, and we need these last couple games to very much go in our favor. And finding that win against the Browns could be exactly what we need at home. It's been a lot of scoring in that first quarter, 21-7 already, though the Browns are up. We drive, we get a field goal, we give up another touchdown drive, we answer with yet another field goal. So as we head into the second half, we need a lot more offense. We get another field goal, but we give up another touchdown. It seems like at crunch time in this season, the offense just doesn't have the juice. We are down 15, make that 18. We maybe tack on a field goal there at the end, or maybe it was even a touchdown. But it's still another loss, 38-30. And we might not have a chance then to make it into the playoffs in Week 18. And come Week 18, only 3 teams have clinched. Quite obviously, the Colts have won the division. But you've got another 4 teams here who are all 9-7. Meanwhile, we are down here 7-9. If we get one more win, we would need the Bills, Patriots, Bengals, Browns, Texans, Chiefs, and Broncos to all lose. And even then, we would not be able to jump these 9-win teams. So from the look of it, essentially, we came up, depending on how Week 18 does, a game away from making it to the playoffs. Let's at least jump in for one final game. Trying to push for a late fourth quarter comeback here. Got about 5.5 minutes left, and we are currently down 14-6 and a drop from Mingo. I went away. I do feel like that's a little bit fitting. Again, coming up about a game, maybe 2 depending on how this one ends short. It was right there for us to take. We just simply didn't. Looking forward to next season, we have some major question marks. Dak Prescott, does he retire? Does he regress a lot? Same could be said for guys like Chris Jones. We have a couple key veteran players, and by veteran, I do mean veteran players, all of which are going to be at least 32, if not older. Dak Prescott, I want to say 35. Chris Jones, maybe 33, 34. So we've got, again, some key options that we've got to keep an eye on. Running back, though, that's another group. We've got a lot of older guys. Gainwell, I think, closing in on 30. Pollard in his 30s. We also still have Antonio Gibson, and he is in his 30s as well. Luckily, our receiving group is not, as that was the rookie in Belton getting the grab. Smith shaken up on the play. The offensive line, a pretty young group, so we are good there. Tight end, good there. But still a lot of question marks as they're getting dragged down there. Gainwell. Still have 5 needed here on third. We need just inside the 3 for the first down, or look for the end zone. With trips up top, it does look like Dawson Knox maybe a little bit shaken up in this one as the tight end is out there, and Belton turning up. Does cross the plane. Well, we have a chance then with a 2-point try to tie this game up. At the 2, we go spread empty. Dak Prescott, he's got to find the throw, and caught. It is Mingo. 14-14, 3.5 minutes left in this season. Now, can we get a couple big plays here from the defense? We do still have a lot of young talent on this team as well. So even though we do have some guys getting older, we have a lot of promise heading into next season, though we need to do better at getting the tackles in the backfield. Sam Williams had the chance there. Instead, Algier busted off for a gain of about 11 or 12, picking up that first down. Inside 3 minutes left. Falcons, they're still trying to maybe fight for a chance at the playoffs. So we're essentially just trying to bust their dreams as ours were busted in the last couple games. More so due to our own fault as we got blown out in both. So 1st and 10 here. Falcons move inside plus territory. Make it a bunch to the bottom, though they still stick with the run. Good tackle there, Pittman. We'll obviously wrap up the season taking a look at the stats. Do want to see some more turnovers for this unit. And with the talent we have, it could be both interceptions and fumbles. The linebackers, the front 7 in general, they could hit, they could knock that ball free. We got plenty of guys, if we could have tight enough coverage, to pick off a pass. The Falcons are down inside the 25 with that grab inside the 2-minute mark. Looking to take a lead here. As it's a handoff, Algier will maybe pick up 2. This is prime opportunity for us to get one of those turnovers we are hoping for. Algier, though, he's looking for the end zone, and he will find it. So with about 1:20, we're going to have to try to go back down the field, tie this game, and honestly at this point, go for a 2 for the win. So we'll head on out for what is hopefully not the last time with Dak Prescott. He had some bad games, but he also had some really good ones. As that one's nearly picked off, great play from Brown. Somehow, despite providing press coverage on another receiver, broke off and made the play. We go spread empty then, making sure their DBs are putting in the most amount of work as Prescott, he works the pocket. He loads up. It's a hit late, and Mingo gets the grab. He's maybe into the end zone. Gonna depend on that flag. We're gonna have to check it, and Dak threw it past the line. Now, feel free to correct me, but I'm pretty sure the rule is, as the point that that ball is released, if any bit of it is behind that line, it is still good enough. Gonna have to zoom out here, and that is by millimeters at most, the back tip of that ball is not behind the line at the point of the throw. But it does erase what they counted as a touchdown. So we've got a 3rd and 15 here. Obviously, we got 4 down territory here. As we're just letting things develop a little bit under pressure, it's going to be a 4th and even longer. Smith gets the sack. Blocking did not hold up long enough. We've got a very long play here. Got to get at least the 40-yard line for a 1st down. Hard count, no one jumps then. So Dak, he's got to find the big plays. He's got Hyatt, and it gets picked off. That will be how this season comes to an end. Ultimately, there was a lot to enjoy with this season, but the result is the same as year 1 through 4. We missed the playoffs, and yet again, we do not have a winning season. Now, funnily enough, the whole thing we were talking about at the beginning was breaking this loss-win streak. But if we didn't, if we lost against the Bills, and then we continued that win-loss trading back and forth, including the bye week, which would have been one of the losses, we would have doubled the amount of wins we had in this episode. And with that, we probably would have snuck into the playoffs. So maybe it was better trading back and forth. Instead, we go on a 2-game win streak, then follow it with a 2-game losing streak. We get a big win against the Panthers, and then we finish off the year not really having a competitive game until the Falcons. That is very disappointing. But at least we don't finish bottom of the AFC South yet again. The Jacksonville Jaguars had their worst season by far. They go 6-11. The Texans and the Colts both make it. Colts won the division. And all we needed was that 9-8 record to get the 7th seed like the Denver Broncos. And indeed, we would have had that if we did not break the loss-win streak. So that is just irony in perfection. We finished the year 15th on offense. As for the defense, 28th. So despite all the changes we've made to that group, they're still not playing all too well. We'll check why in a moment. Dak Prescott finishes with 35 touchdowns. I think that was the mark I gave him in one of those things that pop up. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of him here in Madden 25. 16 interceptions, so technically it is a better than 2-to-1 ratio, but still not great. 69% completion. As for rushing the ball, we haven't done much of that. We did have 3 touchdowns for Gainwell, 4 for Pollard, 5 for Dak Prescott, surprisingly. He also fumbled the ball twice. Receiving, we did have 2 receivers go over 1,000. With 5 more yards, we would have had 3. It was the best year so far for Metcalf. He does finish 2nd in receiving touchdowns, 3rd in yards, 2nd in receptions. Mingo goes for 1,112, Hyatt 1,155. He leads us in touchdowns with 9. Blocking wise, it was the best year by far for this group. Webb gave up just 8 in his 2nd year, and Covington had a really good season. I want to say he missed just 1 game, so he was pretty healthy throughout, only 6 sacks. This offensive line is going to be perfect for our last and final push. Defensively, Pittman gets 119 tackles, Watson 103. Surprisingly though, Pittman never really got any tackles for a loss. He only had 1. On the opposite side of that, the defensive line for the 2nd straight year, all in double digits. Dockery with 17, 14 for Deo, 12 for both Williams and Jones. Sack-wise, Deo led the team with 9. Dockery was 2nd, 6.5. was a good season for him, but not as good as his rookie year in terms of sack numbers. Only 4 for Williams, 3 for Jones. Interception-wise, Emerson Jr. really missed him down the stretch. He had 5 picks on the year, 2 for Pittman, Waller, and Golson, and then 1 more for Woods and Watson. We only managed to force 1 fumble this year, that was by Mike Golson. We did not, however, recover that fumble. We also blocked 1 kick, that was TJ Waller. We did not have a safety, and we did not have a single defensive touchdown. And to round off a bad season, although it could have been pretty good here for us, Jake Elliott did have his worst year in a while. He did have a long of 57, but he also missed all of his kicks were from 50 plus. Now, as for that defense, we did give up the 5th most amount of yards. And it looks like, again, it was due to the coverage. 4th most amount of passing yards, rushing wise. We were probably, within about the top 10, maybe top 12 rush defenses. So for some reason, this team just can't cover. Maybe it's due to the young safeties, but they're really the only options we have. So heading into next season, we've got to get that sorted, as it is the final season. And it is not just the final season of the Tennessippi States Only Challenge, it is the final season of all state-only challenges. Maybe we'll come back to this at a future point, but Tennessippi is the final group here for us. So they better come ready to play next time. To make sure you don't miss it, hit that bell icon on the bottom right or scroll down to the sub button and definitely tap that bell icon so you're notified of when these videos go live. Every single Tuesday, Thursday, we will be back here. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we got college football. So a lot coming your way with one final playoff push.